What up, everybody? It's Connor here with Fast Money Labs, and I'm here with my boy Kevin Debs. So I'm gonna just give me a second here. I'm gonna tweet out the link. We're going live today, so just bear with me here. So, all right, so I just posted that link out. Hopefully, it works. So we're gonna add to the stage Kevin Debs. What's going on, K Debs?
My man, how are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm actually doing pretty well. How you doing?
I'm good. I'll tell you, when we get to 500, I'm gonna need like an intro with the glasses and everything like that. It's gonna have to happen. I'm gonna have to share some space with you on that opening for the call. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, once we start winning some bets, we're gonna be upgrading the crap out of this whole production quality. I mean, getting
I
a
love
little
it.
better, but we got room to run, baby.
Oh yes, nothing but upside from here. We've given the field a head start, and I'll let you get into the picks from last week. We always give it the college try, and as we know, sometimes the ball doesn't bounce our way. So I'll let you talk to it a little bit.
Yeah. So I hope this is working. This is our first attempt to do a live stream.
It
So
says it's live up in the corner, so I got to figure we're live somewhere.
yeah, all right. Yeah. So bottom line, we want to be respectful of everyone's time. So we're gonna chop up our performance from last week. Unfortunately, again, like we just have not had the best luck on the show. So we offered 3 picks last time, and they went 0-3. So that doesn't look great on the card there. But listen, at these odds, these payouts, Kevin, all we needed to do is hit one. I kid you not, we were one pitch away. Schumann went down to a 3-ball count. He was up 3 balls, no strikes, and then he totally blew it. So we were one pitch away from profits. And the theme of today's show that I really want people to understand is bankroll management, why it's so important, right? Because when you're playing these riskier odds, they're not going to win every time. And you actually don't even need to win 50% of the time to profit. At these odds we played, we just needed to go 1 for 3. So the key is, managing your bankroll in a way that's what's the word I'm looking for? Responsible, right? And also just using some analytics. So if you have $100 that you want to bet and you don't want to redeposit, probably not a good idea to put that all on one thing. So that's what I've kind of learned from the crowds line is they have so many picks on the site and they have these percentages on the right called the weightings. That's actually guiding you, Kevin, on the optimal percentage of your bankroll to place. What you'll notice is all the percentages are, between a 0.25% ranging up to sometimes a 4%, but usually in the 1 or 2% range. So you really want to avoid putting too much on a bet, and it's a long game, right? We don't want to burn through our whole bankroll on day one.
No, and listen, it's a pure fascination and a passion of a gambler to burn through all his bets on day one. We all we all get too excited that first day as opposed to keeping some powder dry. And that's what the crowds line is here to tell you is like treat this like a management system, and we can help you be profitable. You're not going
Yeah,
to win every bet. That's the purpose of this is to handle this on 2 levels: make quality bets, but also make sure that you're doing some fiscal responsibility or money management, as you put it, to make
yeah,
sure that these things come out. You always come out ahead, or you feel like psychologically you're in the game for the next day.
that's absolutely right. So just diving into it, I mean, I put out my picks on Twitter publicly. My handle's Fast Money Labs, which of course shortens to FML. And I've had a lot of success in hockey. I've had some success in football. Terrible at basketball, but baseball, my results have never been consistent. And this year, I tweeted out on opening day, as I always do. This year is going to be different. We're gonna have a great year because I do go through streaks. And this is how I performed before using the crowds line and after.
Mm.
So this is showing all the picks I put out on Twitter and starting from the beginning of the year. And you'll notice it was a straight decline. I mean, we were in the green on day one. I thought we were rolling, but we immediately dropped, and I actually stopped putting out picks because I just had no confidence. And then after All-Star Weekend, Kevin, that's when the Crowdsline model became available, and they pushed some updates, and everything is, it had my trust. So I've been using it, and today I'm just going to show you guys how I've been using this to make my picks. And it's a tool that you can use however you want. That's the beauty of it. So, whatever tickles your fancy, as they say. If you like home run props, if you like strikeouts, I've been doing well with RBIs. I mean, there's a whole menu of options that we can walk through.
I'll just say this, because you love to hear about my past. That first part of the graph, it was probably around the low point when you really took another leg down before the Crowdsline came through for you. I used to call the bookie and then make all my bets and then say reverse it. Not even kidding. I would just
What do you mean by reverse it?
Oh, I would just flip the bets to whatever I thought I was doing. I would go opposite. Tell the bookie to flip it. And he knew. He's like, you're cold. And I'm like, yeah, flip him. So right at the bottom of that graph before the Crowdsline came in, I was the reverse guy. I would take anything I had strong conviction on, and I would, like the Seinfeld episode, opposite George, I would just go the other way against myself. Not saying that I had a ton of success, but I was just that frazzled by gambling.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I've laughed at you, but we've all been there, right? Where we feel like no matter what we pick, the opposite's happening. So,
yeah.
So the first mistake people make is betting too much, too high of a percentage of their bankroll, right? The second mistake is just what you just alluded to, is letting emotions bleed through, right? So you really feel a strong conviction on a certain bet, so you bet a lot more money on that than you probably should, and it doesn't go as planned, and you end up burning through that bankroll, redepositing. Nobody wants that, right? And then the third mistake people make, which we're gonna try to avoid here, is chasing your losses. So you feel like, I'm due, right? I just had some tough losses, but I'm due, so you keep increasing that bet size. And by doing that, you're basically throwing all these principles out the window and hoping that what's really a probability that you'll be right or wrong is going to be 100% right that day. And that, as we know, that's not always going to happen. So we're just trying to help guide people to avoid some common mistakes and just remove your emotions. And in this case, Kevin and I are trusting the model, which uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to make these picks. And as stubborn as I am, Kevin, I'm sorry to realize this thing is way smarter than me. So,
it's better to realize that early, right?
Yeah. Better to realize it early. I'm a couple of years into this now, and I've never had this much consistent success. So we're going to be diving into today's board. Plenty of games tonight. It's Dinger Tuesday. So I'm not usually a home run guy, but we've got some home run picks. So let's chop it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share. I figured out how to zoom in on our site here. So just bear with me. So
Connor's also our AV guy. So he's wearing a lot of hats today, which I appreciate.
Yeah. So again, this is the crowdsline.ai. Free to access. All you need is a free account. If you have Google, you just sign in directly. No credit card, nothing like that. So they've been tackling 3 different sports now, with baseball as the one available today. So just as a reminder, this is connected to a prediction model that's taking in various data inputs, crunching the numbers, and figuring out exactly what percentage to put towards a stat, right? So one of the toughest things is, how much do I put towards their home away splits, or the batter versus pitcher matchup, or the lineups? This is actually optimally blending everything together using crowdsourced data. So we're taking in all this data from the internet and basically figuring out how it all blends together. So I can't really speak to the math behind it, but I know that the numbers here you're seeing are the best opportunities that you can place at any time according to the model. So this is the board today. It's sorted high to low on what the model feels are the best risk-adjusted return opportunities, and the odds will vary. So we'll see there's some options that might not look attractive, but the reality is, according to the model, you do this 100 times, you're going to be profiting. So this, just to dive into the strategy I've been using, I mean, I like to bet props that are plus money. I also like to bet props that win, and I like to have nice upside. So what I've been doing, Kevin, is I've actually been sorting on the odds of the table. and honing in on my sweet spot, which in the last week has emerged to be right in the plus 100 to plus 300 range. So I'm dialing in right there, and immediately a couple plays are popping up. So first one here that I'm looking at, Kevin, is Otto Lopez. So Otto Lopez is a guy who was just called up from the minor leagues last week. The Marlins have been trading away some key players. Josh Bell, they dropped on waivers. Jazz Chisholm, they traded to the Yankees. So some playing time spots are opening up, and Otto Lopez is stepping in. So Lopez, he's a contact guy. He's not, he's not the best hitter, and he's good on defense. He's got speed, but I'm taking him under 0.5 hits. So I got a little graphic here to show you guys the win rates. And with Otto Lopez, we're going under 0.5 hits. That's plus 120 MGM. The model thinks that this has actually a greater than 50% chance of winning. And at plus money odds, that's a great proposition. So we're getting an edge of 7%, and I'm putting a half unit on this at MGM. So we cannot have him hit a single, and it's only a half unit, right? So if he doesn't happen, it's not going to kill me. So that's what I'm rolling with for my first play.
Little fun fact: my brother was almost named Otto. So I thought you'd like that, right? So maybe a little luck. He missed out on a great name, Otto Lopez. I like the bet. So we're hoping he pitches the shutout. What's your next play?
Yeah. So my second play of the day, Kevin, I'm going to be dialing up the risk on this one, and I'm honing in on the Pirates, Joey Bart. So Joey Bart is projected about fifth tonight, and they're going up against a tough pitcher in Hunter Brown. But listen, I mean, the top top four of the Pirates lineup, these guys get on base, man. Like it's like, the book Tale of Two Cities. It's like the Tale of Two lineups with the Pirates, where if you look at their on base percentages, the top four guys are machines. They're getting on base. The bottom three are not. So enter Joey Bart in the 5-hole. This dude should have plenty of chances to just drive someone in. And the best part about this, he doesn't even need to get a hit. He can just hit a sacrifice fly or a ground ball, and we can get Joey Bart to bring us home. So my second pick, I'm going with Joey Bart to get an RBI, half unit at plus 290. Got this price at DraftKings. And again, if we hit this, it's paying out almost 3-1. So I'm rolling with Joey. We've got expected odds of plus 225. So nice edge there. And that's what I'm rolling with.
Okay. And so you're putting a half unit on Joey, right?
Yeah, half unit. Okay. So I'm risking 1 unit total spread across those two, just as an example, right? I might add more plays after the show, but that's what I'm rolling with today.
I love it. And I'll round it up, as we're looking to get out of the cellar with our 1-6 track record. One of the things that the great thing about the strategy, at the crowds line is that if it sees a player that it feels is going to have an outsized night, for lack of a better term, great value, it will pick it multiple times. You'll see across our board out of the 47 bets, there are players there mentioned a couple times. One in particular is mentioned 6 times today on the board. My MVP, Kyle Higashioka, is on the board for a number of different things. If he hits it out of the park today, you'll be hearing from us. But we're just going to take 2 of the bets. All of them have positive odds. Some of them are out of the range that you just heard from my man Conor. But what we're going to do, we're going to go with over on. I would say basically since it's Dinger Tuesday, we're going to go with a home run. So it's over half on the home run. And if I'm not mistaken, that is plus 870. So, whatever you're wagering, it's 8.7 times your bet, 870 to win 100 kind of thing. And if I'm not mistaken, as a result of that, because we see the logic of that bet, we're going to go over a half RBI. So over where he's going to get 1 RBI. Because if he hits a home run, he's taking care of itself, and that's plus 270.
Yeah. So, yeah.
When you look at that, sorry, go ahead.
I just want to hammer this point home, right? Because something I've noticed, so I've been using this tool every single day, and sometimes it just hones in on a certain player to go off, right? And it's like, you look at it like, what the actual hell? Like this stuff just sounds crazy. Like Higashioka to get 3 hits. That's absolutely nuts. And I'll just be honest, I personally haven't been sprinkling those, but I look at the results that Justin's putting out, and I mean, some of these are hitting, right? But what I have noticed is that when the model is zoning in on someone in multiple props from multiple angles, it's usually nailing the lower rungs of the ladder. So I've been putting out picks on Twitter where I'll say 1 RBI at a larger bet size, and then let's just sprinkle a smaller amount on 2 RBIs. And it's worked out for me a couple of times. Almost worked out last night with James Wood. So I think this is a great selection. So to recap, the pick is 1 RBI and 1 home run. If he hits that homer, we're cashing both, and we're going to be upgrading the crap out of this production quality next week.
And just to stay disciplined with the money management, we're putting a quarter on each, right? So my bets are a total of a half, so it's a quarter unit on each of those bets. So if you look at it, right, with the odds that we have, if we're just thinking about being responsible to what the system is teaching us and what the information is, we've got 4 bets. We could go 2 and 2 and 1 and 3 and still break even or slightly win, depending on which ones hit. And I think that's, as we do, this is our 3rd broadcast, many more to come. You can't get rid of us yet. We're not going anywhere. I think it's just important to understand that it's changing the way that I think about things. And all you have to do is look at Conor's graph. Conor is digesting information, obviously that he can handle, and start to become smarter, tighter, tougher in how he does things. And it gets a little less pressure. It gets a little less emotional, gets a little less psychological, and you feel more confident. So I absolutely love that. And I think that's part of the strategy going forward. It's quality over quantity, and it's also how you manage it. So I'll let you close it down because I know we're running out of time here, my friend. Any last final thoughts for the Wall of Fame?
Yeah. So I mean, Wall of Fame's still pretty empty. So Higashioka has a chance to join that tonight. I mean, so also just to tie a bow on this, 870 plus 870 at FanDuel is an amazing off-market price here. So the risk with FanDuel is always if they don't start the game, but then they come in and pinch hit, you can actually lose based on their house rules. So sometimes you'll get better odds there. But I mean, we're expecting Higashioka to be right there behind the plate at catcher. He usually bats 9th. And this is a guy that he either strikes out or hits it out of the park. So tough matchup against Glasnow, but I sprinkled a quarter unit on this as well. And I also sprinkled a quarter unit on the RBI.
You're putting your money where your mouth is. I love it. You're taking my bets and you're making it a reality. So I appreciate that. Good to see you. Let's hope for 4 for 4. Let's see how we do. And we'll be on probably at the end of the week, right? To get another broadcast in and help you guys along this journey. It's a living, breathing thing, which we love about this technology. So we certainly want to make sure you're inclusive on it and catch these episodes. And you're holding our feet to the fire. So we're looking for a big win today, and we'll certainly be back to you when it's done.
Hell yeah. And we're new to this live streaming stuff, guys. So appreciate it. It looks like we have 5 people on. So I really appreciate it. It sounds small, but we want to be respectful of everyone's time. We know it's during the workday. So any feedback to make these as useful as possible, we're all, open ears. And then in the future, we'll have FAQs or Q&A, and, we'll get Justin, our data scientist, on here. So we'll have, the content quality should keep improving, as should the picks, hopefully.
Yes. All right, my friend. Good to see you.
All right. Take care, guys. Thank you.